so funny. I was like, when we were first started this whole thing, I was doing so much research. I was so surprised how it was talking about how the dollar stays in the black community for 6 hours.
Yeah. I heard about that update.
Now, I was looking at the different places it stays in other communities. I was like, man, wow, we need to and the thing is this, it might not end with us. We just want to be a catalyst to help it.
Yeah.
It might not be, us that makes the big difference. But we can be a small part into it. There you go.
Maybe the next generation.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Andre, and this is the Speak Your Life Podcast, where we talk about everything as it relates to education, careers, values, mentors, and anything to do with purpose. We do this one impactful conversation at a time, whether it's solo dolo with yours truly or our amazing guests to share stories, industry insights, encouraging words, and calls to action that can help you get closer to your why. Become a part of the Speak Your Life community by subscribing today to the podcast and following us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Speak Your LYFE, because life without your why is meaningless.
Today we have two special guests in the building, and one is from ATL, one is from Baltimore, one graduate with a master's in accounting from Georgia Southern University, the other with a music and business degree from Catawba. Catawba.
It's okay.
Catawba College.
Yeah, it's all good.
Catawba College. Together they started Juba.
Yes.
Right? All right. An affiliate marketing platform that allows people to network while also supporting minority businesses. Please welcome Brianna Smith and Devin Nash.
Hey.
What's happening, y'all?
Hey.
Y'all doing all right? How y'all doing today?
Good. Thank you for having us, man.
Yeah.
Man.
This is our first podcast, so, we're graduating. We're going next is the Breakfast Club.
That's right. One at a time. One step at a time. Man, so how's everything going today? How's the week been going for business and stuff like that?
It's going pretty good. We actually have a lot of things in work. I don't know if we want to discuss it yet, but that's up to Greg. But there's some things in
it's all good.
Some charity things in the work. I'll say that.
Yeah. Okay, good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Happy to be here. It's a blessing.
Yeah. Y'all ready to speak your life?
Yes.
We
All right.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Like
So
that. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, so here on this podcast, we basically talk about how we have people give their journey of where they started, when their birthday was, what basically when you were born, what era, and that journey as to knowing why you were born. So maybe one of you guys can start it off. If you don't want to give the year, you can be like, all right, I'm gonna give the era. What was popping back then? What shows were popping back then? What was going on during that time?
You can start.
Because I know some people are a little funny about that. So.
Ladies first.
I mean, you're older, so.
Whoever.
Ladies first. Right.
Go ahead, Devin.
Devin's I got a lot to think about.
Right. Okay, so you said what was popping back then when I was born. So I'm July baby. I was born in 1984.
Okay.
I'm 36. So
That's what's up.
There. Just okay. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, no, seriously. We were. The 80s, I guess, was an interesting time, but I really grew up in the 90s. Because I was 6, I guess, or 7 when the 90s really grew around. So what was popping back then for me was Boyz II Men. I mean, Boyz II Men was.
That's right.
Musically. Boyz II Men.
There we go.
and then different things like are we talking about entertainment wise?
Anything, pop culture, anything.
Because I guess I'm so affected by pop culture. But stuff like Family Matters and they had shows about family. There was not a lot of reality TV shows. The only reality TV show was The Real World. Just saying. That was it. And so, but other than that, that was all. And what else was going on? Jeez, I'm thinking back.
You ain't gotta go away.
What else do you want to know?
So give us, now that you told us when you were born, give us that journey leading us to why you were born. When that moment you came to, you're just like, okay, I know why I was put on this earth. So tell us about that.
I was put on this earth to help people. At first, I thought it was to do music, and I still do that. but it was helping people through different veins. So I mean, when I was younger, I was definitely a songwriter. I've been working with something the first time when I was like 5 or something, and then I was just always really into that. That was my dream, and that was something that I did every day. That's all I can think about. So, but when it changed a little, to an extent at least, was when about 2015, when there were a lot of different things going on for us as far as black people.
Yeah.
And that being, obviously, there was more things. These things have been going on for years, but it was really put out to the public, and you saw it firsthand, right?
Yeah.
And so what really affected me was one time, and I don't even remember exactly where this was, but I remember watching a video of police officers being called to a pool party. And there was about maybe 20 kids there.
Okay.
14, 15, 12, 13 years old. Yeah. At the pool party. And this cop was called there and went out there and tried to, I guess, there was a ruckus or whatever, and they brought these kids were on the grass, and this cop did a roll and took his gun and put it out and pointed at like a 12-year-old black girl, and I was like, wow, are you kidding me right now? And they were in a towel and bathing suit.
That's crazy.
I was like, you don't see anything.
Yeah. Like,
what are you pointing a gun at this girl for? And that really affected me. I was just like, you know what, man? I have to do something in my life to make a change for people, for what I believe in. Yeah. And what is, I feel like is more important. So that's when it kind of shifted for me from like, music being more important than more now helping my community and still helping other people. It doesn't necessarily have to just be black people, but that is the focus at this point in time right now. But just help people, period. Sure. So that's what I was born for. To do.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Bree, what about you? When to why? Give us that journey.
Okay, so I am a 90s baby. I was born November 13, 1996, the year of the Olympics, everyone knows.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, goodness.
96, ATL?
Yeah. Growing up, I was really young when there were a lot of major changes going on in America when it comes to, changes in music, changes in people to have the ability to express themselves, like Devin, whether it's musically or through art or through the way they carry themselves, just in all different types of things. I would say, some TV shows I remember watching growing up was like Martin and Living Single and things like that. I was a Disney Channel child, so I believed in fairy tales, right? And from the time I was a child, there was nothing that told me that I couldn't do anything I wanted to do, right? So, I mean, from my parents to people in church, people that I consider mentors even to this day, kind of instilled in me at a young age that, you can do whatever you want to do, right? And so you have the freedom, you have people that have came before you that have paved the way. So now it's time for you to pick up the baton and keep running, right? So I don't have to go in depth, as Devin did, my era isn't as exciting.
I would disagree with that. I would definitely disagree with that. I was in that era, so I
2000? 2000 you were born.
It was heavy.
I'm 36. I grew up in the early 2000s. You're right.
So I'm saying.
You know what? I will say technology has advanced tremendously, and that's something that people can't really live without now, right? Like even if you have a simple business, you have to be able to connect through technology at some point, right? Through some way. Whether it's selling your products and services online or being able to advertise on social media. Social media is such a huge thing. And one thing I could say is that when it comes to me thinking about my why, there are so many things I could say that come from my childhood, right? So I, like Devin, feel like I'm here to help people. I feel like I was put on this earth to represent Christ. Right, I'm a Christian child of God, so is Devin. That's one way we connect. Right, we actually met at a church event. It's really crazy how we met. We met at a church event, and since then we've been able to use our connection that we have through Christ to be able to formulate our business, right? And to also be able to say that we want to put something out here that can help people and that can also continue to shine, you know, Christ-like through us.
Yeah.
So my why is very simple. I'm here to help people. I'm here to be selfless and to put others before myself. I mean, I treat others the way I want to be treated. Golden rule since you were a kid, right?
Oh yeah.
I could say, coming into this business, coming into the entrepreneurial world, I've learned a lot about myself, and I've been able to, as of recently, figure out my why coming into this business with Devin.
Nice.
Give me a little shout out here. So I would say that we're here to show people that we're excellent, right? Show them that we're intelligent, that we matter, and that we have something to say.
Good.
We have something we have to offer to the world, and that it's time for us to step up to the plate. So.
That's right. And going back to the whole Christian thing, like, you know, if we're gonna bring it way back, that's actually how we met. You and I met.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. So our parents, you know, we all went to the same church, Weston Church Crest, Wecock back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah.
West Side. There we go.
I've been there too.
Yeah. So that's how we met. I've known you for like a long time now.
Yeah.
So and the family, awesome people. So.
Thank you.
Man.
The brother in Christ.
That's right.
Thank you.
Hey, surprise! We went to wait to this moment to like share this with you. You know, so we're breaking the news now. So, So, anyways, so now that you guys have gone through, got your education and things like that, how have you utilized your accounting degree? How have you used music and business now that you started this business? How have you utilized those tools?
Sure. You know what? For me, I'm a very creative person, and so creativity. I think Bree will let you can agree. For the most part, I deal with, not that she doesn't deal with the creative part too, but I think that's where I thrive, and we're like, okay, we should do this, we should do that, and come up with ideas.
Yeah.
And that all stems from just practice, because when you work your muscle, it gets stronger, right? So that's what that really was, is, and I think that it's kind of spilled over from musically learning how to market myself and market even products with my other jobs. Because I also do sales and marketing for other jobs.
Okay.
Which I did before COVID. Anyway, the point is that those things spill over into this, and so that right there is something I think that has helped a lot.
Yeah,
definitely. We talk about it all the time. Like, and back when my job, we do this. Okay, Devin. All right.
Yeah. All right, that's enough. Let's focus on our business. That's cool. And what about for you, accounting? I know that's big time help.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely keeps somebody from kind of blindsiding us when it comes to anything financially, right? Also, I could say that I'm very organized.
Yeah.
When it comes to being detail oriented, that's something I have to do in my profession. So I think it definitely adds value when it comes to being in partnership with Devin, because he comes to me, he's like, Bree, this would be a really cool idea. I think we should do. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about step A, B, C, and D, and how we're gonna get there, right? But and I think that's how we work the best together, right? So we're able to use our skills from having that time in school and having these other jobs to be able to contribute to Juba and make it what it is. So, like I said, organization, attention to detail, making sure we follow the proper steps. It's all important.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know for me, like starting my own business, like I would have loved to have the accounting, the tax information, because I don't really know that stuff. Numbers is not my thing. I'm more the creative side, like Devin. So I had to go to my mans to like help me out, getting the returns and everything like that, writing the expense reports, and it's a bunch of stuff I didn't feel like dealing with.
So my language right now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's great to have that skill set, and it's very helpful, especially when you you start your own business, but you want to grow exponentially. Right. So you're not just looking to stay here for next year or 2 years. You're looking to stay for the long run. So you guys are gonna need those, the combination of creativity and organization together. So it looks like you guys are starting off on the right foot.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm feeling the energy. So, but yeah, I feel like it's like y'all are like yin and yang together. Like that's what I'm feeling right here. That's what I'm feeling right here.
Appreciate it.
I love this dynamic duo. But so tell me, like, Juba, where did the name come from? Because I know that's like the capital of South Sudan. So I know there's so many different like pieces of so many connections with that name. Where did this name originate for you guys specifically?
Okay, so it's actually really funny. Juba was not our original business name.
Really?
It wasn't. We originally started with Just Us.
Okay.
And then that stemmed into Just Us Black Atlanta. Just Us is a spinoff of Justice, right? Which is something that we want to make sure is happening with people in our culture, right? I mean, even to this day, right? With everything going on with the Black Lives Matter movement and, you know, so many things that we've had to face as a culture, we feel like it's important for us to have that justice, right? So that is kind of a spin-off of that, and then we literally just took the first initial of the words and made Juba, right? So Just Us Black Atlanta, LLC. Yeah.
Well, like, you know, we were doing this thing. We were like, yo, we were going through Just Us, and then we thought of Black Atlanta, and then we went to try and get our license. And they were like, because we're going to Just Us Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they were like, it was taken.
Yeah.
You were like,
has that, right?
Oh wow. What are the chances?
Yeah. I was like, you know what, man? We can do it. We can still call it Just Us if it works. But we can call it Just Us Black Atlanta, and Black Atlanta can be our last name, first name. We can still use Just Us.
Yeah.
But Juba just fit.
Yeah.
And I think one of the people who was helping us work together was like, yo, he said something about Juba, and we're like, yo, that's it. It's Juba.
Wow.
And then
just
worked out. And then we realized it was a dance song. Not a dance song, but it was a dance.
It's a type of dance.
Dance. And then exactly. So we're like, oh, this is like perfect.
Yeah.
And then Beyonce.
You know, there are so many different connections to it. It's a dance. It's, you know, and what you named it before wasn't available, so now you had to kind of change lanes and, you know, switch it up and just find what did work. And now, you know, it's growing. And how do you think it, like, because it does have a ring to it. Like, I like how, because like the thing is too, I know you said Black Atlanta, but I feel like, and this is just my opinion, this is just me throwing this out there, when you guys continue to grow, it'll be beyond Atlanta.
Absolutely.
It can be Black America.
You know what?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't
We have a thing called editing. Are we having an epiphany right here in this moment?
We
Do you understand that we was trying to figure out how to get, we were like, build Atlanta, build Atlanta.
I like literally just thought of that on the fly.
Speak your life.
You're welcome. We're
speaking
speaking life into existence.
LYFE.
Okay.
Because life without your wise means.
Do everything I was going to be with this.
Yeah. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
Just make sure I give him a royalty check. Yeah, that's right.
It's recorded now.
You're on record. We have a verbal contract.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. But anyways, so, you know, talk to us a little bit about this, because there's a lot of people in the audience out there, when they hear the word affiliate marketing, they tend to think skepticism or you know, a pyramid scheme or something like that. Please help to talk and explain more about that, because a lot of times people, when they don't understand something, they fear something,
right?
And when they fear something, they stay away from it, they avoid it.
Right.
So please help people to understand what those words mean to you guys, and what it means for Juba.
Okay. So pretty much affiliate marketing is the ability to market someone else through like your means or your platform, right? So for example, we're here at Blue Lagoon, which just so happens to be one of our current affiliates. We have an agreement with them where we say, hey, you know, for X amount of, you know, dollars or whatever, we will do your social media content, we will advertise, you know, your business, we will, you know, put on our social media any promotional deals and stuff you have, any theme nights you have. So like for tonight, they have comedy night and things like that. Okay. So basically using another, like, I guess a middleman per se, to be able to help further advertise what you already have, further market your business. Mm-hmm. That's what we do.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Good deal. Because like I said, there's a lot of people out there that just don't know, and so there's a lot of things that have been going on with Corona, and it's been associated with the name affiliate marketing. So people are trying to distinguish, what is a pyramid scheme? What is affiliate marketing? What is this? What is that? And there's I think there's a lot of confusion out there. Mm-hmm. So that's why I wanted to have the record be set straight with you guys.
Yeah, I would always describe it as like a minority Groupon. Mm-hmm. And I think people, because that's a brand that people I recognize, but it's pretty much the point where we give people the ability to be incentivized by purchasing from minority businesses, so they get discounts, but then that's for the customer. But then, and it's not, and every business doesn't have to get a discount, but some of them do if they want to drive a business. And then also, we give each business the ability to manage their customers and their business a little bit better with our CRM. It's built into the system, so it's a whole thing. We, in our research, when we first started, we started realizing like, hey, they really, there's a lot of businesses that we're working with and that we're finding out they don't have all of the means. And that whole story goes back far beyond just business. It goes back to just life and how, we aren't really, we weren't set up to succeed. So, a lot of people don't have the means to make things, to have the capability to have like I don't know, like $50,000 to create to create something to make sure that they have all of the what do you call it
the capital or
the capital, but all the resources, the resources to make sure that their business can function the way a business that's gonna a successful business can function. And so that's really what we try and help out with.
Okay. Good deal. Yeah, because especially during this pandemic, there's been a lot of black businesses, like minority businesses, like all kinds of small businesses, but a lot of like black businesses that don't have that same support. They may not have those resources. They may have lacked the knowledge about a PPP loan, about this loan or that loan that are out, the forgivable loans. And I remember reading, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think it was Diddy that was trying to promote this website that really helped black businesses gravitate towards, so that they could apply for those PPP loans. They could apply for the government grants that were out there specific to COVID, because there's so much suffering going on in this small business sector, and a lot of people, a lot of it, I think, going back to your point about lack of resources, I think that ties back to lack of education. And whenever you have a lack of education about something, then you're not going to know, all right, well, Devin has this grant that I should apply for. I need to go to, devin.com and, apply for the, this grant, forgivable grant. Forgivable loan, excuse me. And so it goes back to lack of knowledge. And so it seems like what you guys are doing here is, connecting people in a way that they can have that knowledge, so they can have the resources to then thrive.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I was like,
no, we are.
Yeah. That's awesome. And talk more about, what you guys do and what your intentions are when it comes to the black community and serving the black community specifically, or minority communities.
Our intentions are to get to a point where there's more ownership, to where we, like you said, people have more knowledge and resources, and then also just the ability to like I said, just have your own. Because the whole thing is like there's a lot of people, a lot of other and it's not their fault. I think it's great. I'm really inspired by Jewish culture. Those, you know, they have their own banks, and you know, we do too sometimes, but it's a little different.
Yeah, that is
and you know, we are the only people that don't have our own community. You know, we don't, like, there's not, the Jewish people have a community, especially like when I lived in Baltimore, like there was a section that you knew was a town, was pretty much a place for Jewish people. That's all. That's it.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should have the same thing, and it's not you know, the intent is not to try and separate us from everybody else, but to at least create our own wealth.
Yeah.
So that we, at that point in time, we can, you know, control something, because like we said before. And like, you know, the NBA and all these people were doing, like, I think they were doing that because at the end of the day, like, people only listen when you control money. And once you control money, then they're like, okay, well, we can, you know, we'll listen to you. So that, and right now we don't control that much money.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. It's so funny. I was like, when we were first started this whole thing, I was doing so much research. I was so surprised how it was talking about how the dollar stays in the black community for 6 hours.
Yeah. I heard about that update.
Now, I was looking at the different places it stays in other communities. I was like, man, wow, we need to, like, I mean, you know, and the thing is this, it might not end with us. We just want to be a catalyst to help it.
Yeah.
You know, it might not be, you know, us that makes the big difference. But we can be a small partner to it. There you go.
Maybe the next generation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bree, did you have anything to add about that?
I can definitely ditto everything Devin just said. I'm on still a lot of my L's person said. You know I can talk a lot.
Yeah.
The BBC reports a U.S. workers' online study said that nearly 70% agree public speaking skills are critical for success at work. Maybe you are a student looking to become a prime candidate for that internship, or might I say full-time position, or maybe you have already been in the job market for some time now and you just want to stand out amongst your coworkers looking to get that raise you feel like you've been passed up for too long now. Go to speakyourlife.com/private-lessons. That's speakyourlife.com/private-lessons. Again, that's speakyourlife.com/private-lessons to become a better communicator tomorrow by signing up today.
Hey, yeah, that's great because you know, it doesn't. You know, I think it's best for us to do our best while we can with the limited time that we do have on this earth. And who knows, maybe it is us, maybe it is our generation that makes that next step from bringing us, you know, that black wealth circulation or the, you know, currency circulation only 6 hours and brings it beyond that.
Yeah.
But maybe it is 1 or 2 generations behind us, who knows. But, you know, just like it took generations from slavery to, you know, Jim Crow to civil rights to here we are now in 2020. We don't have any chains, shackles. Yeah. You know, there are many people who have mental shackles, but as far as like physical shackles, we're dressed nicely, we're looking good, smelling good. Like, it took generations for that to happen. And so for us to build together as a community, like we were talking about, you know, similar to the Jewish community, which I admire that community, that aspect that they have about them. They're just so communal, so intentional about what they do with each other and how they serve each other, that I'm just like, wow, that's really dope. That's really cool. Like, I wish that we can implement more of that in our own culture. Right. Because I think what I tend to see, specifically in the black community, I can only speak for, is that there's like a, you know, sometimes a crabs in the bucket mentality. And I think that brings us back a lot. And, you know, when somebody's succeeding, oh, they're a sellout. We, as a community, as a black community, we have to get out of this crabs in the bucket mentality, and we have to look to adopt a new mentality. And like I said, you know, similar to the Jewish community, they support each other, and, you know, no matter what. and I think we can do the same. It's not impossible. Like, you know, I think, you know, people say the sky's the limit, but I heard that in 1969 we went to the moon. So therefore, the sky is not the limit. There's no way it could be the limit. We're beyond that.
It's conspiracy. Go ahead.
Man on the Moon, Kid Cudi, have you heard of him? Yeah. He went to the moon too. But yeah. So you had a different perspective, and you were saying how like, you know, there are reasons for that. Now, you know, let's talk more about that.
Well, you know what? I like Bree's thought because it's more of a positive thought. So I agree.
But I think there is some merit to. I would say there is some merit to what you were saying. Like, that's a real thing. Not to say that we're gonna like bow down and just like, oh, we're just unlucky and we're cursed.
Right. But I think that while there is history that we should know about ourselves, you know, I mean, black people don't even know their history at the time. Like, I just learned about Juneteenth probably 3 years ago. Because in school, they don't teach anything like that.
No.
They talk about Christopher Columbus and how he just sailed the ocean blue in 1942. And that's not really what happened.
Yeah.
It's
discovered.
Whatever it is. Discovered, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that's not true. You know, and so so there's a lot. It's just a lot that goes into it, and then they, you know, wrap it up in like a bubble or a nice little flowers and stuff. Like, hey, this is what happened. Like, no, this guy slaughtered people. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But so that's what I think that's. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a bigger. I mean, we could be all day talking about it. It's a bigger thing than just, oh, we have this crab in the bucket mentality. Yes, we do. I agree. And it's something that's even instilled. And I don't know if it's instilled in your generation or not, Bree, but I know it's instilled in our generation. It's something that I have to fight against. And I have to say to myself, you know what, man? Like, don't be like, oh, well, they got this. Like, yo, I'm happy they got this. And but it's something you got to relearn your thinking. You got to rethink, restart, whatever you want to call it. Reboot your thinking. And so that's something that, you know, but that's why I say I like Bree's thought process with it, because it's like, yeah, you know, we have to, you know, be positive and understand that it's not just that while, like you said, someone else has something, it doesn't take away what you can get, because there's money for everybody, and white people do that all the time. You not see them beefing against, you know, I'm trying to think of who, but you know, I'm trying.
Some of them suing each other, but you know.
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is you had Steve Jobs, right? And then you had, what's the guy from Microsoft?
You have
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, yeah.
They're not beefing. They're both money. They both in the same industry, and they both are. Steve Jobs is dead. But they both were rich. You didn't hear them with Steve Jobs beefing with Bill Gates. No, they got their money, and that's what it is. So it's like that's what we, you know, even if you're in the same industries, that you both have, you get what you get. So that's what I mean.
I think it's good to, you know, when Steve Jobs was around, there was a sense of competition. Let's not get it twisted.
Right.
Between Microsoft and Apple.
Right.
I'm sure. You know, I think this Apple. You're Apple, right? Y'all Team Apple. I'm Team Android. So. So that's why we have this divide.
But that's a perfect thing. But that's a perfect thing.
Yes, healthy competition.
Yes, even though there's 2-1 at this point in time, but there could be somebody else has another Android.
Yeah,
and I'm sure they have that. So, well, yes, there's always going to be competition because you're in the same industry. You know, if I do music, and of course, there's somebody else that's the same thing as me. We both doing pop music or R&B. It's going to be competition, but we both can live, you know?
Exactly.
Like, you never heard somebody say, I like Chris Brown, but I don't know who.
Usher.
I don't know. Like, they like both, and they buy both.
Exactly.
So that's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And did you have some more?
I'm just going to stop.
Because I know that last part cut off.
I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to put us on our... Yeah, go ahead.
You want me to just re-answer?
Yeah.
So you can ask your question.
Yeah. So yeah, we were just talking about like how can we work on changing that mentality in our community? How can we work on building a community, restructuring things? And like I said, things can take generations. Like I said, slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights. Here we are now to 2020, and just like it took generations just for us to have like some sense of freedom, even though we still have some ways to go. It's gonna take it's gonna also take like, I feel like, generations and years for us to also change the mentality that we have as a community as it relates to how we deal with each other, how we relate in business, and all those different things. And I wanted to hear your thoughts more about how we can step in that right direction.
Yeah, what I will say is that I do believe that the mentality from, I guess I would say like the older generation is still kind of carried on today, where people are still hurt, or just more so just upset at the things that we've had to deal with, for the past 400 plus years, right? And so you have grandparents telling young people like me, hey, make sure you get a job, keep your head down, make enough money just to support a family, right? Don't do anything to make the white man mad. Yeah. Seriously. No. But I think we should stop making excuses. I don't want to feel limited to my success, right? I had a conversation with my grandmother recently. She's getting ready to retire in a year and a half, and she's telling me about all of the dreams and aspirations she's had, when she was a young person like me, but she couldn't do those things because she felt limited. She felt like she was only capable of doing, one thing, which is getting a job, being a nurse. I'm going to work here for the next 30 years, retire, and that's it, right? By the time you're 65, you're like, hey, I'm not physically able to do all the things I might have been able to do when I was in my 20s, right? So, I just feel like I remember having a conversation with her, telling her, hey, I'm about to, get into the entrepreneur world. I'm about to start a business. I have a business partner. She's like, what? Yep. Okay, but how's your job? How's your accounting job? It's great, but I'm starting a business. And it took her months before she could actually wrap her mind around the fact that I'm young, I have an education, I have the drive to want to do something else. Yeah. So it kind of like, it was like a shock factor. It's like unheard of. Like, okay, it's so many young people that are out here today, making a way for themselves, right? And so that just means that, we have the ability to be just as successful as the next person, right? We have so many influences in the world today that look like us that are telling us, hey, don't feel limited. If you have something you want to do, go for it. The sky is not the limit. There we go. Examples I want to use, Tyler Perry, right? Yeah. Newfound billionaire. Oprah Winfrey, billionaire, right? Somebody that we both love. We have these people that have paved the way from us. Yeah. And I just feel that we should hone in on that and focus on thriving in the right direction. Teach our younger generation that they can still accomplish anything they want. Yeah. Right? It's not going to be an easy path. Let's not get that confused. You can't be lazy and just think that things are going to happen at the snap of a finger. You have to work towards it. True. But if it's something that you want to do, you can make it happen. Yeah. That's right.
That's right. There we go. Poetry. Yeah. All right, but I was reading a few things and about how affiliate marketing is like a $12 billion industry, and about 81% of the brands out there, they rely on affiliate marketing and stuff like that. And a lot of it has to do with the fashion industry. A lot of the affiliate marketing is related to the fashion, connected with the fashion industry. Okay. But do you guys, in your case, do you have a niche or a focus that you have when it comes to certain kinds of products and services, or is it just okay, you have a whole array of things that you guys are focusing on?
A lot of it's hair. One of our, because I think our biggest what do you call it? People draw as far as people who our biggest audience is black females.
Yeah.
So hair is definitely a big draw. Hookah. Hair and hookah.
Hair and hookah. H&H.
That's pretty
really
much,
any type of grooming services, right? Even though we've been in quarantine for like 5-6 months, people still want to look good.
Yeah.
Right? They want to look good whether it's
for Instagram.
Yeah.
That's
just
right.
for Instagram, but
If you remember, we went, we actually went around.
Yeah.
Right, doing surveys. This is last year with November, and just like we went to the bars and everything, and we went places, malls and places, and survey like what was the need, what do people want to spend their money on. And that was the biggest thing was the grooming.
It was food and grooming and transportation.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, and so like with the survey, did it include like specifically black women, or was it like all kinds of people, or like men as well, or is it just?
We mostly did black people.
We mostly did minorities.
Yeah. I mean, like black women specifically, or is it like men as well?
Men.
Yeah.
We also had male and female, right?
Yeah.
We had all of those different things, all those categories. So
it
was all broken down into who and what the gender was and everything.
Okay. Cool. And how do you guys like? What do you do to differentiate yourselves? You know, compared to like all the other affiliate companies out there, what do you guys do as Juba that makes you different?
Okay, so we do a couple different things. We actually created a network, basically where you can connect with different minority businesses based on whatever it is you need, right? So for example, we're affiliated with an event hall.
Okay.
Whenever somebody has an event over a certain number of size or capacity, you have to have security. Right, so we brought on a security team as another affiliate so that we were able to connect those two.
Nice.
We have a barbershop. We have a hair braider. We have a makeup artist. We have different people that could use each other for different things, and we also make sure we use them the best way we can as well. Right, in order to best promote your business, you have to use the products and services that are on there. So pretty much majority of the people that we have on our platform, we've either already used or are in the process of using what they have to offer so that we can be able to better brand them and market them. That's just one side. We also have a chat bot where if I'm driving downtown and I'm like, hey, I want to find, drinks in Atlanta or nice lounge or whatever, something like Blue Lagoon's going to pop up, right? They're on our platform. We have keywords that you can implement. It doesn't matter, what keyword you want to use. You're in the city of Atlanta, you'll be able to find whatever business you're looking for using that. On the business side, we have a CRM tool that allows you to manage your customers, right? So you're able to keep track of the transactions. You're able to see the growth, right? From the time you start working with our company to, your expansion maybe 6 months later down the line. Okay, I've been able to increase my revenue by 10 to 15 to 20% by just being on Juba, right? We provide social media management. So you have a lot of startup businesses who are only able to focus on producing that product or doing that service, but they don't really have the ability to brand it. So that's where we come in. We give you that team, right? We give you the ability to further do the things you need to make your business successful, like Devin said earlier.
Nice. Any input on that, Devin?
No, I have nothing to say.
He's like, it's all been said.
That was a pitch right there.
That's right. I was feeling it. I was about to pull out my wallet. But yeah, that's great because that ties perfectly back to what you were saying earlier about like needing a community and this, in the black community, we need a community within our community, just like. Not just we say the black community, but like actually feeling that way, actually having a sense of community and the way that we connect with each other. So that's what you're doing, and that's what, I really appreciate what you guys are doing. So that's why we're here. And so, with that being said, so in this podcast, we talk a lot about how we look at life as a house, right? And the most important thing is actually the thing that you can't even see, and it's the foundation. The foundation of a house is what we build on, and other than like love, peace, and joy, what would you say is one thing that you guys say your house stands on and your house stands on?
Our individual houses?
Your life, your house, your life.
It's nothing to do with Juba.
No.
Okay. All right. Like the house that I live in right now. Or
like you as
like
Devin. If you're at the house, if your life is represented as a house, what would you say is one foundational pillar that your life stands on, your house stands on? I know it's a heavy one.
No, I honestly love without fear. Yeah, just like not expecting. I know for me, I guess it's more a personal thing. I've been working on that.
Sure.
Because a lot of times you do things to expect things back, and I have had a tendency of loving some people and just in general, but being afraid to get all of it, being afraid of being rejection and those different things. So loving without fears, and I think a big part about what I'm trying to do. I think that's one of the things as a household.
That's great.
Yeah,
love it.
I would probably say hope for me, only because I kind of grew up thinking that life is a fairy tale, everything's gonna be perfect.
Disney World.
And there's been so many obstacles that I faced in my almost 24 years of life that kind of wanted to knock me down or make me feel like I couldn't keep going. But just having that hope and that faith, which is probably a better word, has been something that has been allowed me to keep going, I would say. And that's definitely something that I would say I display throughout the business as well. I mean, Devin can tell you all the time, we'll be talking about something like, it's okay, Devin, I think this is going to work out.
Yeah.
We got to stay positive,
That's right.
I'm a very passionate person.
Yeah. I'm passionate too, but, faith without works,
it's dead.
right, it's dead.
Yeah.
So you have to, not only acknowledge that work has to be put in, but you also have to just have that faith that, I'm God's child.
That's right.
He's looking out for me. If this wasn't for me, I would have known by now, right? But there's so many different signs that keep showing us, hey, this is for you. This is what you are, you're here for. You're here to make a difference in the community. You're here to help people. So that's what I say I stand on. I stand on faith.
Nice. I love it. Oh man, about to start breaking out the Bible now. We're about to have a Bible study.
It's Wednesday, so
Lord forgive me, I am a sinner. I am not in Bible study right now on Zoom chat. But anyways, so now we are entering into the last segment of the podcast, which is question of the day, where we just ask a random question. And today's question of the day is, if you could manage any celebrity's IG account, who would it be and why?
Okay.
Because I know we use IG, we're using IG Live, we're using, everything like that. So,
I know.
who would it be?
No, go get ladies first.
Ladies first.
Who's yours?
I mean, I going to tell you who mine is?
You tell us. You didn't tell us.
I see you. I was like, who is that? That's not my phone. Okay, mine will be Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Okay.
And that is because I feel like Will Smith could be a star in any generation. Because he has been a star in the 90s, right? And obviously movies. And then he kind of, I'm not saying he went away for a while, we kind of stopped, I guess, being big, and then he just got on Instagram. And now he's just like huge on Instagram. And he's been able to just transcend generations. And I think I saw that when I saw him on Instagram, I was like, Will Smith is just a star. I don't care if he's born in 1892 or 2050, he's going to be a star. And that's true. So I was like, yo, it just is what it is, man. Good for him.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I was scrolling on his Instagram the other day, and I found out about Jaden's new show on Snapchat. I was like, oh, I didn't even know they had shows on Snapchat.
I didn't either.
I didn't even know that was a thing. But it's real short to the point, and it's really good.
Is it? Okay,
cool. They talk about different, very serious topics for younger people. Voting, the importance of standing for what is right, and just a lot of cool, need to be talked about subjects that are not so popular and not as comfortable. Not like who's playing? Is it the Lakers or the Nuggets? Like stuff like that. They talk about like deeper issues. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for you, Bree, who would that IG be?
I'd have to say Beyonce.
Okay.
I've been a fan since Destiny's Child days. And you know, she just represents strength for women.
Yeah.
And you know, as a black woman, you know, in her field, in her industry, I feel like people respect her.
Yeah.
She doesn't even have to say anything, and she just walks in the room. People respect her. Prior to last year, she wasn't even putting captions really under her Instagram post, but she get millions of likes, millions of views, just because people just respect her and they are just awaiting her presence.
Yeah.
And so I just want to, you know, have a taste, a touch, you know, just to be a part of, you know, just her network, because she's just such an amazing woman.
Yeah.
You know, I want to have that amount of respect one day. I mean, obviously, you know, you don't have to bow down like Beyonce would want you to, but just to have that aura to where people want to be around me and just crave my energy because I'm somebody that just exemplifies a strong, you know, black independent woman.
Okay. Good deal, man. But anyways, man, thank you guys so much, and we just want to say, be sure to check them out on Instagram and follow them right now at Juba. That's JUBA LLC. JUBA LLC. That's right. Thank you guys so much for joining.
Appreciate
it. Man, it was a great conversation and everything like that. And guys, we also want to say thank you so much for joining us today on today's episode. Subscribe. And whether you're on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever, Stitcher, I don't care where you are, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also leave a review if you felt connected with this episode, particularly today. And if you have any questions, comments, you just want to hit us up, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at SpeakYourLYFB, because life without your Y is meaningless. And last but not least, podcasts are free to listen to, but are not free to produce. And for that case, we want to give you the opportunity. We'll leave the link below for to be a patron today, whether it's monthly $10, $5, or you just want to support us with $1 a month. You can do that today. Thank you again for tuning in. We love you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace. Should we call what's the name? The librarian?
Yeah. There we go. Make sure it's focused. All right, cool. So Juba, they have many affiliates, but one of the special ones we want to give a shout out today is with Blue Lagoon, and Devin's going to talk. He's going to introduce my man here, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so at Juba, like as you know, we are a e-commerce affiliate marketing platform. One of the affiliate co-owners that has supported us from the very beginning, his name is Delapa. We have been, we started in June, and we've just had the utmost support and just encouragement from somebody, and it really has meant a lot to us. And so when we talked about doing this podcast, we was like, who should we try and feature? And that was one of the people we thought about. So without further ado, I definitely want to introduce you. Again, on this podcast, I want to thank you personally for even being a part of us and just helping us out and just supporting all the things that we do. Blue Lagoon is located in Buckhead, and I will let Lampo continue because I don't want to mess anything up. So I want to let you know
the handoff was just great. That was a perfect handoff. So yes, my name is Lampo Ricola. I'm one of the owners here at Blue Lagoon, and they have just been wonderful partners in helping getting our brand out, while partnering with them to find out, how do we do good business and what are some of the things that we can do within the community as far as sharing information, highlighting businesses, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And whatever we can do to continue to support you, that's what we're going to do. And right now, here's my shameless plug. We opened up another spot in Sandy Springs. The spot is called the Atlanta Lounge. Very sexy, very upscale, and we plan to get the same type of service over there. So Blue Lagoon is really our staple. That's our mothership. and we pride ourselves on good, fresh food, excellent entertainment. In fact, tonight is our comedy show. But more importantly, we welcome everybody so that everyone feels welcome and they feel like this is their home. So that's our competitive advantage.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for giving that plug and introducing yourself and letting people know about who you are and how they can come through and just show some support. So
appreciate it.
Do they still have the crab cake? Can't have no older one.
We're out of crab cake. But we'll have it next time we go.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I'll order something else. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Yes, sir.